Hello from Agra, Agra's Red Fort. Oh, I'm sorry, man. Which is over there. So that's Agra's Red Fort. Now, a lot of people think that in Agra, you've just got the Taj Mahal, which is obviously the most important landmark in the city, and the city basically lives off the revenue from it and the tourism that comes from it. However, there is a very important Mughal fort in Agra as well, called the Agra Fort, and that's it over there. So that's what we're going to have a look at today, if I can cross the road. So we're going to go through the rigmarole of actually buying a ticket in person, which is generally not advisable, but since I'm lazy I didn't get one in advance. And yeah, join me. So they gave me a bit of grief with the camera. I had to leave my stuff in the cloakroom as well, and had to grease some palm for them to let me leave my stuff there. So I gave them 100 rupees and they seemed pretty happy with it. And yeah, just stroll around here for an hour. So it's about 11 now. I've got till about 12 to have a stroll around, have a look at the fort, which already seems quite impressive. And at 2:30ish, my train leaves from... no, thank you, sir. My train leaves from Agra Fort Station, which is not far. And I should arrive in Jaipur in about 4.5 hours. So yeah, that'll be the first non-night train I'll take in India. And yeah, it seems, from what they tell me, it seems like it's quite a decent train, quite quick and quite new. So we'll see. I'll take you on that as well. Yeah, really the Mughal architecture that I've seen so far is pretty impressive. And you know, it's something that at least I never really studied or never really knew about before I came to India. Now I studied in Ireland, I grew up in Ireland. And obviously, depending on where you grow up in the world, your history, schooling in general, is very based, more or less, around the historical and cultural influence that that country gives you. So, I mean, have a look at that, you know. So yeah, basically this was one of the main forts by the Mughal Emperor Shah something, I think, in the 16th century. And this was quite an important area for the Mughals at that time. It was actually their capital at one point before it moved to Delhi, which is one of the reasons why they chose that bank of the river just down about 2 kilometers away to build the Taj Mahal in memory of that emperor's wife who died prematurely. So yeah. So I was in India 4 years ago for the first time, and I actually travelled quite a lot around the south, and I was heading north. So I started in Kerala in the very south, and I went up through Bangalore, Hampi, Goa, pretty well trodden backpacker route. Sorry, as I was saying, until COVID hit, and that was in early 2020. So I got to the southern part of Rajasthan, Udaipur actually, and at that point I had to go back to Europe as quick as possible. But one of the things I do like about traveling India is the amount of Indians you get traveling India, in the sense that, especially if you stay in hostels, you're going to come across a lot of Indians in a similar way that you get in Europe. In Europe, you get a lot of Europeans interrailing or you know, traveling around different European countries. But here in India, it gives you a feel, well, that you're in India actually. You know, that you're with locals, and it allows you really to interact with the local people quite a lot. Obviously, English is a predominant language here. Not everyone speaks it, but in general, the younger generations, people who are more educated, do speak it, especially if they live in cities. So yeah, Indians are becoming more and more wealthy. There's more of a middle class. The population is obviously the largest in the world now. So there is a growing expectation among the younger generation to travel and to see their country, seeing as traveling outside of India is still quite difficult because it's still quite a low-income economy. So a bit similar to China maybe 20, 30 years ago, maybe even less, 10, 20 years ago more. Yeah, but it's nice to travel and actually meet Indians. So another reason I like traveling India is basically the vast cultural differences that there are with Western Europe, which is where I'm from. Just the customs, the food, the ethnicity, even within India, are incredibly diverse. It's also a very cheap place to travel. The train systems, for example, are extremely well developed in terms of extension, not so much luxury or timeliness, but yeah, it's pretty easy, to travel around India. And since it's so big, there's something for everyone if you have a bit of a strong stomach. As I said in an earlier video or another video, you do need to take it with a pinch of salt. You can't travel India taking it too seriously because you'll just get burnt out, basically. So yeah, this is one of the central courtyards of the fort. As you can see, well-kept gardens. Yeah, quite impressive, Quite impressive. Very nice to be out of the hustle and bustle of the streets. Very tranquil, very calm. Very calming. So I'm employing a new tactic, which is showing them the price of Uber and using that to negotiate down. And it's really effective. I was quoted 100 rupees initially, and I showed them that on Uber I could get a rickshaw, because you can get rickshaws from Uber for 40. And he said, okay, 70. And I said, well, I can get it for 40. He said, okay, 50. I said, fine. So that's another tip. Not just use the Uber itself, but use it to negotiate your stance. So back into the thick of it again. Have a look at all these. Right. Nailed it. So let's have a look inside the station. So yeah, a lot of people just chilling. Although it looks pretty chaotic and pretty grim, to be honest with you. But anyway, look at all the places we can go. So, you've got, I don't know where, no, I'm only joking. That's obviously in Hindi. Now it'll come up again, there we are. So I'm on the second one there, AIIAF SF Express. And it's funny because the trains here, a lot of the time they don't actually tell you where they go on the name of the train. You just have to look it up, and the name of the train has absolutely nothing to do with where it's going, which makes it a little bit confusing. Also, a lot of the train stations have two names. They have the old British name and the new Hindi or Indian names. So, for example, Bangalore will be Bengaluru. Hampi is Hospet. So you have to contend with that as well, and also the fact that in big cities you're going to have multiple train stations. So Varanasi, for example, has at least 2 big stations: Varanasi Junction and Banaras. Varanasi Junction is BSB, and Banaras is BSBS. So it's happened to me more than once that I've actually gone to the wrong train station, only to have to get a rickshaw in a big hurry to the other one, and it might be, you know, across the city. So Indian trains are a bit tricky. So I'm going to see if I can find a cloakroom, leave my stuff there for a couple of hours, and explore around the station. Maybe get a bite to eat. Let's see. Look at the wonderful mural of the Taj and of Agra Fort. Very nice indeed. Much nicer than most Indian train stations. Well, much nicer. A little bit nicer. Okay, so cloakroom. Just 15 rupees per kilo, up to 24 hours. Pretty good. Shit, they don't let you keep a laptop in the luggage, so they didn't let me. So this is the second class waiting room. And have a look at the first class waiting room. As you can see, you know, place charger and stuff. That's the bathroom. Seems a bit cleaner. Aircon. Well, no, not aircon. Got fans. But yeah, it just seems a little bit cleaner, you know. It's split into men and women. So that's the women's upper class waiting room. I don't like monkeys. I just crossed over onto the other side of the station. Trying to look for somewhere to kind of hang out, chill out a bit, get something to eat. If I can cross the road. Right. Oh, the smell of spices is, wow, it's penetrating. But yeah, there's no tourists around here. I mean, this is pretty local. So yeah, let's see if we can find somewhere local to eat. So I've stumbled into a market, clothing market. See, look. A bit of a clothes shop. So lots of women's clothing, saris, a lot of people even making or mending clothes, vendors mostly. You got a lot of looks here. Not used to seeing foreigners. Oh. So we're gonna try this place. Looks remotely clean compared to everywhere else.
Okay, so I asked for what's known as sambar idli, which is a dish which consists of these rice cakes, these fluffy rice cakes, and this veg lentil spice stew. Very typical of southern India and very common at breakfast time. A lot of people eat it for breakfast. So I've never tried this. Let's give it a go. So I've got the 2 idlis here, and that's the sambar, the lentil stew. I don't know what that is, it looks like chutney. So let's give this a go. Okay. It's good. It's got a kick to it. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a watery kind of lentil stew with green beans, tomato, bit of potato in there. Looks like celery. It's good. It's light. It's quite liquidy. Try the idlis. It's just like a fermented rice cake. Again, even though I'm in northern India, this is a southern Indian restaurant. Yeah, kind of light, fluffy. I mean, these don't taste as much. It's just like a conglomerated rice, fluffy pastry thing, basically. Neither sweet nor hot. It's really, I think, just to kind of soften the heat that comes from the sambar. It's good, it's good. Let's try the chutney. Again, this is not a very touristy restaurant. In fact, they're looking at me like I have 3 heads, speaking into the camera. I asked for chola. They have chola on the menu, which is apparently a type of chana, chickpea kind of soup gravy with spices and veg. But they looked at me as if I had 3 heads and they shook their head and they said no. So we'll have to stick with this. Let's try the chutney. Alright. So that's very soft, creamy, mild, light, cool. Offsets the sambar. Very nice. So again, you know, they have this for breakfast in southern India. When I was there, idli and masala dosa, which I might have now, quite frequent. So yeah. Masala dosa, which is like it's like a rice pancake with ghee, which is like hydrogenated butter, like a margarine base, and then potato and veg and lentil and spice filling. And they fold it over and they bring it on these big plates, and they have a chili spice dip and a more mild yogurt dip usually. So that's the speciality of this place. Okay, so this is the masala dosa. So yeah, it's a pancake, and inside here is the filling. So you can see, it's like a potato, veg, spice filling. Let's try it. And then you just wrap that up. Dip. It's good. Very good. You get the crispiness of the pancake and the soft potato filling with a hint of kick at the end with the masala. It's quite good. Quite good. I've tried this many times. So yeah, I've left these basically because there's not much to them. But yeah, the masala dosa was pretty good. This is a dosa house, so you'd expect it to be pretty good. And yeah, let's see how much it costs. Masala dosa and Italy some sure. धन्यवाद. Bye-bye. Right, so that was 135 rupees, which is about 150, €1.50. India for you. Okay, so heading back to the station now. See if I can get on the platform. See if I can get to the train, because it might be stationed there already, you know. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so this is mine. I'm in the chair car 24, C1. Like mine. We'll have a look at the carriages now. Hello sir, Jaipur? To Jaipur? Dhanyawad. So pretty comfortable, aircon, looks good. So the chair class is this, you know, it's 3 on one side, 2 on the other, pretty comfortable, air conditioned. It's the best class in seated trains, and the seated trains tend to be for well, short distances in between cities.
हाँ एसी कर
Lovely.
Pretty appalling, alright. This is, I think, general class. So no AC, just fans. Have a look at this. Pleasure. It's hot, eh? It is really hot. And these fans they just throw around hot air. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It is pretty bad. Yeah. This would be the kind of equivalent to sleeper class on the night trains. It's another one of the same. There's like 8 of these. Pretty grim, pretty grim. Not bad. Sandstorm going on outside. Just rolling in now. Just rolled in there, hopped off. Here we are at Jaipur. You can tell it's a big station. So yeah, I think we're gonna end the video there, guys. Thanks for coming along, thanks for joining. And I'll be gallivanting around here for the next few days. All the best.